Well, hello everyone. Glad you could make it to vlog 108. I'm Jaime, the shut-in cartoonist, musician, and I am still vlogcasting from the Corn Tortilla Press World Headquarters located in Alameda, California. Today, we're going to talk about this little one-shot comic I did called Los Punkers. I'm trying to keep the glare off of that. There it is, man. I drew it in I went to one of those 24-hour things. It was drawn in 22 and a half hours. And what I mean by one of those 24-hour things, a while back they had, as comic book shops often do, they had a 24-hour comic drawing night, whatever it was called. And I believe it was North America. It could have been global for all I know. Kind of like Inktober. You know about Inktober, where you do a picture every day for October. And I'm involved in that as well. So, getting back to that. So yeah, it was that. I believe it was called the Comic Book Outpost, which is the store, I think, is still there, but has a different name. It got bought out by somebody else. Maybe Comic Book Experience. I don't know. But it was a Comic Book Outpost, I believe. And it was towards the end of Ocean Avenue, near Stonestown in San Francisco State, in the Ingleside neighborhood, which I used to frequent a lot in the 80s. I had a lot of friends that lived there, the early to mid 80s. And anyway, so I was there, and how I ended up at that particular comic book shop, because at this point I was living in Marin County. A friend of mine who tried to talk me in, and he did, to doing it. I was going to meet him there, and somehow I guess he forgot. Well, he screwed up. He ended up going to another comic book shop in town, over in the Mission, I think, or someplace. So, yeah, and I found out later he was actually going after a certain young lady, and, you know, because he's younger than me, and apparently she didn't show. So anyway, but by me going to this one, I got to meet Rick Lucey that night. Rick and I sat next to each other for the whole thing. Great cartoonist. Go look at his work now. Rick Lucey, Lucey. He's on Instagram as Lucy Rick, Luceyrick. I think he's on Facebook. He has a website and all that. Rick Lucey, phenomenal cartoonist, illustrator, and one hell of a good guy. I really like Rick, and got to see him, man. This shut-in stuff is crazy. But anyway, so yeah, you show up. They give you, you bring your drawing equipment with you. So I brought, my pens, brushes, whatever, and then they supply you with the paper. They have like a card stock. It's bigger than 8.5 by 11. I can't remember the exact size, but it's much smaller than the 11 by 17, which most cartoonists like myself are used to drawing pages on. But you can't bring a script. You can have an idea, you can have everyone, but you can't have anything written down. So I had to figure something out. I realized, okay, I'm going to do this. The history of my little awakening into punk rock in the late 1970s in the capital of California's ass backwards town back then, in some ways. Don't get me wrong. I love my old town. I just, back then it was kind of different. So, yeah, I sat down to do that. And advice. Anyone who's into comics and is really getting, especially people starting out, if they still these, I highly recommend it. They're a lot of fun. It's good discipline. It kind of really forces you to think out your stuff a little better and work on the fly. But the better part is you get to meet other cartoonists. Like I got to meet Rick, and we've become friends ever since. Bounce ideas, look at their work. It's just so much. That's a great deal. But if you're a working cartoonist like I am, I don't recommend it. You can do it if you want. I did, but I was doing the strips back then, and like I said, not quite 2 hours into it. I rub my hands a lot. I kind of massage them because I play stringed instruments and I draw a lot. So I'm really worried about getting arthritis someday. But they get sore, so it's evening, and I'm working on it, and I'm like, the owner comes up to me and says, "Wow, we're only like 2 hours in. You're already rubbing your hands." I'm like, "Dude, I do this for a living." And he goes, "Well, then what the hell are you doing here?" I go, "Exactly, I don't know." Well, he goes, "I'm glad you're here anyway." And I made it. So I'll give you a little bit of example of some of the work here. It's, like I said, it was my friend Arturo. He's the one in glasses. I didn't wear glasses back then. And that's Bobby Contreras on the drums. And, of course, I was doing the bass and the vocals. And, yeah, we were real into it, man. We were skaters. We were skateboarders. It actually opens up. The whole thing opens up with Art and I with our long hair, and I'm wearing an Alva shirt, and there we are skating a pool together. We skate pools and banks, and yeah, we'd follow the Dogtown guys in the pages of Skateboarder magazine, like all the skaters did then. And all the hardcore guys too, because we really got into it. I mean, it was, when skating started dying out from plastic boards to the wooden boards, and it started dying out, a lot of us heads kind of stayed into it, the more hardcore guys, which we were part of. We eventually cut our hair, and he loaned me this crappy P-bass copy, and we worked out some tunes. Here's some more of Sir's Art up here talking to Rick about some party we played. But we were really tight. The one thing about all three of us, we were already musicians, so we already knew how to play, and we practiced a lot. So, talent with practice, we'd blow people away. We'd walk in and they'd laugh at us with our shitty homemade gear. We're three, fucking brown kids from, a black neighborhood, and they're like, oh, Christ, what are we going to be in for now? Every single time we started playing, people were like, whoa, these guys are actually pretty good. Though this particular party, they were expecting something a little mellower. Everybody kind of played new wavy, still alternative loud stuff, but like they had keyboards and skinny ties, and we didn't. It was all buzzsaw. But nonetheless, I had 24 hours to draw, 24 pages. The story is actually much longer, and I have in my mind I'd like to do another version of this, but this is the one right now. I may never do it, but this one right here encapsulates the whole thing from beginning to end. And like I said, it's $3. If you see me at a con, expo, festival, whatever, at the table, the $3 because there's no mailing involved. I'm just handing it to you. But these are on my website. They're $4.50. All the comics, they're 24 pages, cardstock cover, black and white art. But yeah, because of postage. Postage, I hear, is going up again. And it costs well over $1 just to mail one of these. So I throw in stickers though. I try to be generous and throw stickers in. I sign it. I sometimes even put a little post-it and doodle something on there and say, hey, thank you. And so it's, anyways, just go to my website, corntortillapress.com, which I will put down below. So there it is for you right there. You can also subscribe below. Anyway, this morning, Amy and I made a small little healthy breakfast, had our coffees, went out for a 3+ mile walked pretty hard, looked at a bunch of stuff out by the water and everything, then walked home. I came in to do this, and now we're getting ready just to chill out for the rest of the day because it is Sunday, because tomorrow we have to crank it all back up. All right, everybody. Oh, and thank you for all the, my eyes are feeling much. You can see they're still a little red. They're still like a little sore, but each day it improves. So like the light isn't bugging me right now, and I'm almost back to normal until the next time. So anyway, thanks for that. All right, well, I've already taken up almost 8 minutes of your life that you will never get back, but hopefully it was a good 8 minutes. If you have to go out, please mask up. That's what we did. Don't touch anything. Keep the hands washed and cleaned. And remember, be kind to yourself and be kind to others. All right, everyone, thanks for joining me. I'll see you next time.